Many people think that we've got to build trust up over time. And you're talking about this, how do we give value? How do we extend that trust? Some effort, share some expertise, something that is valuable to the other person. How did you
Yeah.
come to that belief?
Well, there's an indirect and a direct answer, right? The indirect, it's largely just how I've historically been. I'm not a salesy person, but obviously I like business and growth and things like that. That's kind of the indirect answer. Now, where I
Mhm.
became intentional about it was just a couple years ago. At the time, I was only active on Facebook as a social media platform,
Okay.
and I was good at kind of keeping it moderated and avoiding the drama. But one day I just realized it was unproductive. I went to go, I'm just going to delete this then. And we all know that if you delete Facebook, it doesn't really go away. And so I deleted every post I'd ever made, every comment I'd ever made on somebody else's
Wow.
wall, unfriended everybody. She went through and deleted all my private messages. And so I wiped it out
Wow.
before I then hit delete. And
Okay.
what happened after that is I realized, oh, I had this one client that I used to talk that way because I used to keep Facebook private. If a client or lead asked me a question, I would just kind of ignore it. And so then I was like, well, I don't want to turn this on just for one conversation. So can I be intentional about this?
Okay.
And so here's where we kind of come back to your question about when did I start to focus on relationships? And that was part of if I turn this on, I'm gonna turn Facebook on and LinkedIn because that's where my audience is. And how do I give value? And historically, I just talked about my appreciation for my wife and kids and personal things. And then it became, well, how do I still maintain a presence and entertain an audience that is used to friends and family talk without boring them about business and vice versa? How do I start to attract a business audience without boring them about friends and family? For the listeners, like this is where you go, well, those things are me. And so those are the things that I authentically enjoy sharing. And as I
Mhm.
started to do that, then started to come the private messages that would say, I really appreciate how you lead family first. I like how you talk about your wife and kids. So there was all these personal DMs, but then that's where it started to turn into business leads too. And then the business leads, what happens is people will follow you for your expertise, but they convert when they relate to you as a human. When I started putting these things together, I realized free is profitable. And if you just start to give away that expertise, then they trust you because most of us, people can find what you offer online. And so it's not necessarily that you have the answers, it's just that they trust you to implement them and drive a result. So I just started giving away all the answers. Like, we talked about a book, we talked about my posts. I just push everything. And it's like, if you want to put in the time, more power to you. And then if not, now you know somebody that you can trust that can implement it for you.